I am at present a clay artist, but I think of myself as a painter. Oh, and a photographer. Right now I do a lot of mosaic and clay sculptural mosaic. I started in my field of art, or my love of art, when I was actually, I think when I was a child, I used to make clothes for all my dolls, and I'd start over every day and make new clothes out of little scraps of material. So I started out as a fashion designer at the age of 8. And then when I was 15, I started a photography class in high school, fell in love with the instructor, Gil Tobin, and fell in love with photography. Spent the next 2 years enthralled with it, and when I graduated, I got the Senior Art Award. Went on to college where I studied photography, and along the way I picked up a love of art history, so I ended up with a double major in art, and went into the teaching field where I taught art and Spanish, and ended up teaching computer education for most of my teaching career, which was a wonderful thing to teach, so I taught art with the computer. Along the way, because I had extra energy left over at the end of the day, since my students were so in love with the computer, I continued to take night classes in different art forms and started playing with clay at one point. And so now I've got this love of clay. I've got a studio here filled with ceramic kilns and all the tools and toys you need to work with clay. And I've been lucky enough to get jobs to do clay-oriented art around the city, and teach clay to kids, teach at the museum, teach out of my studio. My sculptures are what I call narrative sculptures. In other words, there's sort of a story behind them. I don't always know what the story is, but if you look at them, you can see that there's something going on. They're in the middle of something. They're doing something. They're thinking about something. They are something. This is a bat scientist, for instance. This is this little lady here. She's the witch of numbers. She's a bruja, which is in Mexico, the people called brujas and brujos, people who have a lot of knowledge, like wizards, not like a witch in the bad sense, but a knowledgeable person. So she's the bruja of algebra, which is something that I never got myself, although I tried. Anyway, so my sculptures do have stories. This one is going to be, as I said, the little Madonna of the cat. She's going to be holding a little cat. And the reason I'm making her is because I have this beautiful gold tile that I want to use in a piece of art. And this just came to me the other night as I was drifting off to sleep. I do a lot of my best thinking when I should be trying to sleep. Anyway, so I wanted it to look like something you'd see in Siena, Italy, which is one of my favorite places in the world. So she's going to have this mosaic all the way around her. And of course, by the time I fire her, this is actually white clay. And paint her and make her little cat. It'll be obviously much more colorful and interesting. And so, as I said, my sculpture is open to interpretation. I don't always know what I'm trying to say with my sculpture when I make it. I just start putting elements together that fit. You know, they may not fit the next day. So, for instance, I looked at her and I thought she needs a little hat, and I didn't give her any hair because witches don't always have hair, or brujas, I should say, because I don't want to use the wrong connotation. I have over there, if the camera can look here, I have an aging ballerina. So, in finishing, what I want to say to the little future artists of America that are watching and that are in this wonderful art moving museum is that if you think you're not an artist, think again. We are all an artist. All we need is a little help figuring out what kind of an artist we are. You don't have to be a wonderful drawer to call yourself an artist. I can hardly draw at all. So don't think that that's the most important thing. If you feel like you want to make something, That's being an artist. So make stuff. Go somewhere and make some stuff. And if you don't know how to make it, ask somebody how to make it. And that's it.